Chapter 9. Earth, its atmosphere. Reading objectives. Composition of atmosphere. Functions of the atmosphere. Structure of the atmosphere. Our Earth is surrounded by a huge blanket of air called atmosphere. As the Earth's interior is divided in layers, its atmosphere is also composed by many layers: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere and thermosphere. All these layers have their own properties. Enrich yourself. Composition of air. 1. Nitrogen 78.0841%. 2. Oxygen 20.9486%. 3. Argon 0.9340%. 4. Carbon dioxide 0.0318%. 5. Neon 0.00182%. 6. Helium 0.00052%. 7. Krypton 0.00011%. 8. Xenon 0.00009%. 9. Hydrogen 0.00006%. 10. Methane 0.0002%. 11. Nitrous oxide 78.0841%. Get to know more. The standard unit of measuring temperature is degrees Celsius. It was invented by Andreas Celsius. On the Celsius scale, water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius and boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Composition of the atmosphere. All living beings on this earth depend on the atmosphere for their survival. It provides us the air we breathe and protects us from the harmful effects of sun's rays. Without the blanket of protection, we would be baked alive by the heat of the sun during day and get frozen during night. So this is the mass of air that has made the temperature on the earth livable. This blanket around the earth is a colorless, odorless, tasteless sea of gases, water and fine dust. When we breathe, we actually intake mixture of many gases. Nitrogen and oxygen are two gases which make up the bulk of atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, helium, argon etc. are found in lesser quantity. Besides these components, air has some industrial gases, dust, smoke particles suspended in air. Nitrogen is the most plentiful gas in the air. When we inhale, we intake some amount of nitrogen into our lungs and exhale it. But plants need nitrogen for their survival. They cannot take nitrogen directly from air. Bacteria that live in the soil and roots of some plants take nitrogen from the air and change its form so that plants can use it. Oxygen is the second plentiful gas in the air. Humans and animals take oxygen from air as they breathe. Green plants produce oxygen during photosynthesis. In this way, oxygen contents remain constant in the air. If we cut trees, then the balance gets disturbed. Carbon dioxide is another important gas in the atmosphere. Green plants use carbon dioxide as their food and release oxygen. Humans and animals release carbon dioxide. The amount of carbon dioxide released by humans or animals seems to be equal to the amount used by the plants, which make a perfect balance. However, the balance is upset by burning of fuels, such as coal and oil. They add billions of tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere each year. As a result, the increased volume of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere each year, which adversely affect the Earth's weather and climate. Argon, helium and methane are other gases present in the air in small volume. Apart from these gases, tiny dust particles are also present in the air. These tiny particles form the nuclei which attract water vapor. The process ultimately results in climate change, which is vital for all life forms on the Earth. Functions of the atmosphere: protects all living beings from hazardous or deadly radiation from space, filter for UV and X-rays from the sun. Lets to pass the vitally important sunlight to the surface of the continents and oceans, energy source. Makes possible a mean temperature on the Earth's surface of 15 degrees C instead of -18 degrees C as would be without atmosphere. Protects from rapid cooling at night and heating at day. Transport energy, warmth of air that can be felt and latent warmth of water vapor, from the equatorial regions to medium and higher latitudes. Transport of water vapor through dynamic process of general air circulation that determines precipitation. Storage of huge amount of nitrogen, important for plants. Reservoir for carbon dioxide and oxygen. It is a part of different vital cycles of matter. Dissipation and decomposition, oxidation, reaction with radicals, photolysis, of natural and anthropogenic, man-made, emissions. Structure of the atmosphere. The atmosphere is a form of gaseous envelope that surrounds the Earth and constitutes the transition between its surface and the vacuum of space. Life on the Earth is supported by this atmosphere, solar energy and our plants' magnetic fields. These layers have a different set of properties. Troposphere. This layer is the most important layer of the atmosphere. Its average height is 13 kilometers. The air we breathe exists here. Almost all the weather phenomena like rainfall, fog and hailstorm occur in this layer. Stratosphere. Above the troposphere lies the stratosphere. It extends up to a height of 50 kilometers. This layer is almost free from clouds and associated weather phenomenon, making condition ideal for flying aeroplanes. One important feature of stratosphere is that it contains a layer of ozone gas. Mesosphere. This is the third layer of the atmosphere. It lies above the stratosphere. It extends up to the height of 80 kilometers. Meteorites run up this layer on entering from the space. Thermosphere. In thermosphere, temperature rises very rapidly with increasing heights. Ionosphere is a part of this layer. It extends between 80 to 400 kilometers. This layer helps in radio transmission. In fact, radio waves transmitted from the Earth are reflected back to the Earth by this layer. Ionosphere. The ionosphere is a part of the thermosphere. This layer extends from 100 kilometers to 300 kilometers of the Earth's surface. It is made of electricity-charged gas particle called ions. The particles get this electric charge from the ultraviolet rays of the sun. Ions helps in transmitting communication signals. Radio waves are sent back to the Earth from the layer. Communication satellites help in transmitting the signals back to the Earth. That's why, any place in the world can be reached via radio. Exosphere. The uppermost layer of the atmosphere is known as exosphere. This layer has very thin layer. Light gases like helium and hydrogen float into the space from here. The temperature increases rapidly in this layer because of solar radiation. Do you know, the mixture of gases in the atmosphere has taken over 4.5 billion years to evolve. Fact. 1. Atmosphere has regions. 2. Ozone layer is situated in The. On the Earth. 3. The ionosphere is a part of The. 4. Ozone is produced in The. Temperature. The temperature you feel every day is the temperature of the atmosphere. The degree of hotness and coldness of the air is known as temperature. The temperature of the air changes not only between day and night but also from season to season. Summers are hotter than winter. An important factor that influences the distribution of temperature is insolation. Insolation is the incoming solar energy intercepted by the Earth. The amount of insolation decreases from the equator towards the poles. Therefore, the temperature decreases in the same manner. Air pressure. Air pressure is defined as the pressure exerted by the weight of air on the Earth's surface. The air pressure is highest at sea level and decreases with height. Horizontally, the distribution of air pressure is influenced by temperature of air at a given place. In area where temperature is high, the air gets heated and rises. This creates a low pressure area. Low pressure associated with cloudy skies and wet weather. In areas having low temperature, the air is cold. It is therefore heavy. Heavy air sinks and creates a high pressure area. High pressure is associated with clear and sunny skies. The air always moves from high pressure area to low pressure areas. Wind. The movement of air from high pressure area to low pressure area is called wind. One cannot see the wind like rain or snow but can feel its force. It can be strong enough to uproot the trees from the ground. Wind is the flow of air along, or parallel to the Earth's surface. Winds help to transfer energy in the atmosphere by mixing warm tropical air with cold polar air. In this way, winds help to moderate temperature on a planet. Rainfall. When water evaporates from land and different water bodies, it becomes water vapor. Moisture in the air at any time is known as humidity. As the air gets warmer, its capacity to hold the water vapor increases and so it becomes more and more humid. When the water vapor rises, it starts cooling. The water vapor condenses, causing formation of droplets of water. When these droplets of water become too heavy to float in air, then they come down as precipitation. Precipitation that come down to the earth in liquid forms is called rain. Most of the groundwater comes from rainwater. Weather and climate. The term weather means the state of the atmosphere at a particular place at a particular time. It includes information on weather elements such as temperature, air pressure, winds, humidity, cloud cover and rainfall. We usually get information about the weather from weather reports and forecasts published in newspapers or broadcast over radio and television. Weather forecasts are particularly helpful, as they warn us in advance about approaching storms and heavy rains. This enables us to take precautions. The climate of a place is the average weather of the place. In other words, climate is the regular pattern of weather conditions at a place over a period of time. Get to know more. Ozone is a form of oxygen that gathers in the stratosphere to form a layer. This layer screens out harmful ultraviolet UV rays from the sun which can cause skin cancer. Word to know, the atmosphere is a thin layer of gas which surrounds the earth. Air is most essential for life of all organisms. Air consists mainly of nitrogen 78% and oxygen 21%. There are noble gas, water vapors, industrial gases, dust particles and smoke which constitute 1% of air. Ozone layer is actually the concentration of an oxygen molecule, O, known as ozone.